What if I told you that there was a man who walked so closely with God that he didn't face death? A man who simply vanished, leaving behind one of the Bible's greatest mysteries. This is the story of Enoch, a man mentioned briefly in Genesis, but whose life and disappearance have sparked endless questions for thousands of years. The Bible tells us in Genesis 5:24,
Enoch walked with God, and he was no more, because God took him.
just like that. No dramatic finale, no long explanation. Enoch's story seems to end as quickly as it begins. But what does it mean to walk with God? Why was Enoch singled out for such a unique fate? While the Bible gives us only a glimpse, the Book of Enoch, an ancient text excluded from most biblical canons, offers a far more vivid account of his life. It speaks of heavenly visions, cosmic secrets, and divine missions that Enoch undertook. Could these writings hold the key to understanding why Enoch was chosen? What did he see in the heavens? And what lessons does his story hold for us today? Join us as we dive deep into the life of Enoch, a journey of faith, mystery, and divine connection. Who was Enoch? What did he see? And why was he taken by God? Let's uncover the truth together. The story of Enoch begins in the book of Genesis. It's brief, almost easy to overlook, yet its significance echoes throughout the Bible and beyond. Genesis 5:21, 902 tells us,
When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. After he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God 300 years, and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked faithfully with God, then he was no more, because God took him.
It's a simple yet profound account. While most figures in this genealogy are marked by their lifespan and death, Enoch's story ends differently. He was no more, because God took him. But what does it mean to walk faithfully with God? To walk with God suggests more than just living a righteous life. It implies intimacy, harmony, and a daily communion with the divine. Enoch's life wasn't just marked by faith. It was defined by a relationship so profound, so unwavering, that it set him apart from everyone else in his time. Scholars have long debated why Enoch was taken by God. Some suggest his extraordinary faith and closeness to God made him worthy of bypassing death entirely, a rare honor shared only with one other figure in the Bible, the prophet Elijah. Elijah, like Enoch, was also taken by God. His story, found in 2 Kings 2, describes how he was carried into heaven by a whirlwind in a chariot of fire. Both men's stories share this element of divine favor, a connection so powerful it transcended the natural order of life and death. But unlike Elijah, Enoch's ascension lacks dramatic detail. There's no whirlwind, no chariot, no witnesses, just the quiet, simple phrase, God took him. Some theologians believe that Enoch's disappearance represents God's reward for his unwavering faithfulness, a glimpse of the eternal life promised to those who walk closely with him. Others see it as a symbolic foreshadowing of Jesus' ascension, emphasizing the ultimate connection between humanity and the divine. It's also worth noting Enoch's place in history. He was the great-grandfather of Noah, the man chosen by God to preserve humanity and life on earth during the flood. Could it be that Enoch's closeness to God had a ripple effect, preparing his lineage for Noah's pivotal role? Enoch's story, though brief, leaves us with profound questions. What does it take to walk so closely with God? Why was he chosen for such a unique fate? And what does his life teach us about faith, obedience, and divine purpose? The Book of Enoch, a text shrouded in mystery and wonder. It's a book that carries the name of one of the Bible's most enigmatic figures, offering a story far richer and more vivid than the brief account we find in Genesis. But what exactly is the Book of Enoch? The Book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish text attributed to Enoch himself, though scholars believe it was written much later, around 300 to 100 BCE. It was revered by many in early Jewish and Christian communities, yet it was ultimately excluded from the biblical canon. Why? Some say its content was too controversial, filled with celestial visions and cosmic battles that strayed far from traditional theology. Others suggest it simply didn't align with the doctrines of those who decided which books belonged in the Bible. Despite its exclusion, the Book of Enoch had a profound impact. Early Christians, including church fathers like Tertullian, referenced it. Even the New Testament echoes its themes, with Jude quoting directly from the text. Its stories of angels, judgment, and the heavenly realms resonated deeply with ancient audiences, offering a glimpse into the divine and the mysterious. One of the most fascinating sections of the Book of Enoch is the story of the Watchers. These were angels who descended to earth, abandoning their heavenly posts, but their mission was anything but divine. They corrupted humanity, teaching forbidden knowledge, how to forge weapons, read the stars, and even use makeup. But their greatest sin? Taking human wives and producing offspring, the Nephilim. The Nephilim were described as giants, beings of immense power and size. Their very existence was an affront to God's order, and their corruption of the world was said to be one of the reasons for the Great Flood. Could these giants be the reason Enoch's journey was so significant? Perhaps his story offers a warning about the dangers of disobedience and the consequences of divine rebellion. But the Book of Enoch isn't just a tale of rebellion. It also takes us on a journey to the heavens, a journey led by Enoch himself. He describes visions of divine realms, conversations with angelic beings, and the very throne of God. It's here that the book paints some of its most vivid imagery: fiery thrones, rivers of light, and celestial beings whose forms defy earthly understanding. Enoch's description of God's throne is nothing short of breathtaking. He writes of a throne surrounded by fire, with rivers of glowing light flowing outward. Around it are countless angelic beings, each radiating divine glory. It's a vision of judgment and majesty, a reminder of the immense power and justice of God. Enoch's journey wasn't just about witnessing these wonders. It was about delivering a message. He was sent back to warn humanity of impending judgment and to remind us of the consequences of disobedience. His visions serve as both a glimpse into the divine and a mirror for our own lives, challenging us to reflect on how closely we walk with God. Though not part of the biblical canon, the Book of Enoch continues to captivate those who seek to understand the mysteries of faith, the heavens, and humanity's place in God's plan. Its themes of rebellion, judgment, and redemption echo through time, offering lessons that are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. Enoch's story takes us beyond the earthly realm into visions of judgment, warnings of rebellion, and glimpses of the heavens themselves. Among the most striking of these visions is his prophecy of the flood, a cataclysm that would reshape humanity forever. Enoch foresaw the coming flood in vivid detail. He was shown how humanity's corruption, fueled by the Watchers and their offspring, the Nephilim, had spread like a plague. The Book of Enoch describes him pleading with the Watchers, warning them of their impending punishment. These angelic beings, once glorious in their roles, had abandoned their divine purpose and led humanity into chaos. But Enoch's warnings fell on deaf ears. The Watchers were judged and condemned to eternal chains, imprisoned in a dark abyss, a haunting reminder of the consequences of rebellion against God. Their offspring, the Nephilim, were destroyed in the flood, wiped away to restore balance and purity to the world. The flood wasn't merely a punishment, it was a divine reset, a cleansing of the earth from corruption. Enoch's visions of the flood emphasize the gravity of divine justice, showing that God's patience is not infinite, and that disobedience carries profound consequences. But Enoch's journey didn't stop at visions of judgment. He was also shown the heavens, multiple heavens, each more awe-inspiring than the last. According to the Book of Enoch, the heavens are layered realms, each serving a unique purpose in God's divine plan. In the first heaven, Enoch saw celestial bodies, the stars and planets moving in perfect harmony. In the second heaven, he witnessed a realm of chaos and rebellion, home to fallen angels awaiting judgment. Higher still, Enoch entered the realms of divine glory, where countless angels stood in worship. He described the throne room of God, surrounded by fire and light, where every being radiated reverence and awe. It was here that Enoch's understanding of divine justice, faith, and obedience deepened. Each realm revealed a piece of God's vast and intricate plan. One of the most powerful moments in Enoch's journey was his encounter with the throne of God. The vision was overwhelming. Fiery rivers flowed from beneath the throne, and angelic hosts surrounded it, their voices echoing in eternal worship. This vision wasn't just about the majesty of God. It was a reminder of his absolute authority, his justice, and his mercy. When Enoch returned from his journey, he carried a message of hope and warning. His visions weren't meant to instill fear, but to guide humanity back to faith and obedience, to remind us of the consequences of sin and the boundless mercy of God for those who walk closely with him. The lessons from Enoch's journey resonate even today. His visions teach us about the balance of divine justice and mercy, the importance of faithfulness, and the hope that lies in God's eternal plan. Enoch's story reminds us that even in the face of chaos, there is a divine order. And for those who walk with God, there is always hope, no matter how turbulent the world may seem. Enoch's story didn't end with his ascension. In fact, his name echoes through the New Testament, where his role as a prophet and mediator takes on profound theological significance. In Jude 14:15, we read,
Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about them. See, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone, and to convict all of them of all the ungodly acts they have committed in their ungodliness, and of all the defiant words ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
This passage not only highlights Enoch's prophetic role, but also positions him as a messenger of divine judgment and redemption. He warned of God's justice long before the flood, and even before the law was given to Moses. Enoch's words carry a timeless weight, reminding us that God's judgment isn't arbitrary. It is rooted in truth, justice, and righteousness. As a prophet, Enoch bridged the gap between the divine and the earthly. His role wasn't just to observe, but to mediate, delivering messages from God to humanity and warning of the consequences of disobedience. But Enoch wasn't an ordinary prophet. His unique relationship with God elevated him to a position of unparalleled significance. A man so attuned to God's will that he was spared the experience of death. The theological implications of Enoch's ascension are profound. In his ascension, we see a foreshadowing of Christ, whose own resurrection and ascension symbolize the ultimate victory over death. Enoch's life, in many ways, mirrors the hope of eternal life promised in the New Testament. His journey suggests that walking faithfully with God transcends earthly existence, offering a glimpse into the eternal. In the broader context of theology, Enoch's story raises questions about the nature of divine favor and what it means to live a life wholly dedicated to God. His ascension serves as a testament to the power of faith, obedience, and intimacy with the Creator. Enoch wasn't just a man who walked with God. He was a reminder of what humanity could be when fully aligned with the divine will. His writings, though not part of the canonical Bible, continue to inspire and challenge readers, urging us to reflect on our relationship with God and the legacy we leave behind. Enoch's life isn't just a story, it's a calling, a reminder that walking with God is a journey of faith, purpose, and ultimate fulfillment. Through his prophecies, his role as a mediator, and his unparalleled relationship with God, Enoch remains a figure of profound theological importance, a man whose legacy calls us to reflect on our own walk with the divine. Enoch's story didn't fade into obscurity after Genesis. Instead, it found new life in ancient Jewish texts and apocalyptic literature, where his journey and visions shaped entire genres of thought and storytelling. In the intertestamental period, texts like the Book of Enoch and others within the Dead Sea Scrolls expanded on his story, painting him not only as a man who walked with God, but as a prophet, scribe, and even a figure of cosmic significance. In these writings, Enoch became the recorder of divine knowledge, the mediator between God and humanity, and a key figure in explaining the mysteries of the universe. His role in apocalyptic literature was pivotal, offering vivid descriptions of judgment, redemption, and the heavenly realms that influenced later texts, including portions of Revelation. His influence didn't stop with Jewish tradition. Early Christians, especially those in the first few centuries, drew heavily on Enoch's themes of divine judgment and angelic rebellion. Church fathers like Tertullian referenced him, and his name echoes in the New Testament, particularly in the Book of Jude. Over time, Enoch became a bridge between Jewish and Christian apocalyptic thought, a figure who connected ancient traditions with emerging theological ideas. Enoch's mysterious disappearance and divine connection inspired countless works of art and literature throughout history. Medieval manuscripts often depicted him as a humble yet radiant figure ascending to heaven, emphasizing his unique relationship with God. Renaissance art portrayed Enoch as a man of wisdom, standing among angels, his expressions serene and full of faith. These depictions served as a visual reminder of his closeness to the divine and his unique place in biblical history. In modern times, Enoch continues to captivate creators. His story has appeared in graphic novels, science fiction, and even films, often reimagined as a figure who holds ancient secrets or cosmic truths. Whether as a character in apocalyptic fiction or a symbol of divine mystery, Enoch's enduring presence speaks to the timeless appeal of his story, a man who bridges the gap between the earthly and the celestial. And yet, after all the texts, art, and interpretations, Enoch's story remains one of the Bible's greatest mysteries. What does it mean to walk so closely with God? Why was Enoch chosen for such a unique fate? And what secrets might he have carried with him into the heavens? His disappearance leaves us with more questions than answers, challenging scholars, theologians, and believers to reflect on the deeper meanings of faith, obedience, and divine purpose. Enoch's legacy isn't just about what he saw or where he went. It's about what his story inspires in us today. A sense of wonder, a desire for closeness with God, and the hope of something greater beyond this life. The story of Enoch is as brief as it is profound. A man who walked so closely with God that he bypassed death and stepped directly into the divine. His journey inspires questions that stretch across millennia. What does it mean to walk with God? How can faith transform our lives? And what can we learn from Enoch's obedience and trust in the Creator? Enoch's life reminds us that faith isn't just about belief, it's about relationship. His walk with God wasn't a single act, but a lifetime of devotion, trust, and purpose. His story challenges us to ask, are we walking with God in our own lives? Are we seeking His guidance, His presence, and His purpose? Through Enoch, we see a glimpse of what is possible when faith meets action. He teaches us that walking with God means living with intention, seeking His will, trusting His timing, and embracing His plan for our lives. And yet, Enoch's story leaves us with mysteries yet to be fully understood. His visions, his role as a prophet, and his connection to the divine spark a sense of wonder that continues to resonate. What did he see? What secrets did he carry? And what does his story mean for us today? If you've made it this far, thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the life of Enoch. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And this is just the beginning. Stay tuned. In a future video, we'll dive even deeper into the mysteries of the Book of Enoch. Are the Watchers and the Nephilim more than myth? You won't want to miss it.